How did I manage to sell regular tap water for $50 a bottle? And no, it wasn't a scam. It was pure, unfiltered psychology. Stick with me, because what I'm about to share will fundamentally change how you see value, marketing, and the very products you buy every day. It all started with a simple but powerful realization. People don't buy products, they buy context. Think about it. If you're selling a bottle of water at a dusty bus station on a hot day, you might get $1 for it, maybe $2 if you're lucky. But take that exact same bottle of water, place it on a silver tray in the minibar of a 5-star hotel suite, and suddenly it's worth $10. Same water, different story. The environment, the presentation, the perception, that's what people are actually paying for. This got my gears turning. I wanted to push this theory to its absolute limit. I asked myself, what's the most extreme context I could create for something as simple as water? Where could I sell it where the price wouldn't just be high, but astronomically high? My mind immediately went to the world of luxury. Diamonds, high fashion. Places where price tags aren't just numbers, they're statements. So I devised a plan. A bit audacious, maybe even a little crazy, but I was convinced it would work. First, I needed the right location. I didn't want a storefront, I wanted a stage. I approached the owner of the most exclusive, high-end jewelry store in the city, the kind of place where security guards wear suits and the air smells like money. I negotiated a deal to rent a tiny, overlooked corner of their showroom. It was just a small pedestal, really, but its location was everything. Next, I needed the right packaging. I sourced these incredibly elegant, custom-made glass bottles. They were heavy, with intricate facets cut into the glass that made them sparkle under the store's spotlights, almost like a diamond themselves. They looked less like water bottles and more like expensive perfume decanters. This was crucial. The bottle had to scream luxury before anyone even knew what was inside. Then came the product itself. I installed a high-quality multi-stage filter system in my apartment. It was a good filter, the kind you can buy at any home improvement store, but it was essentially just purifying regular city tap water. I filled each of my fancy bottles with this filtered water. The water was clean, sure, but it wasn't sourced from a mythical glacier or a secret spring guarded by monks. It was from the tap. The final piece of the puzzle, and perhaps the most important, was the branding, the story. I designed a minimalist, elegant label. On it, in a sophisticated gold leaf font, were just 3 words: Gemstone Hydration. And below that, a tagline I spent weeks perfecting: the only water pure enough to clean your diamonds. That was the hook. That was the entire psychological play. I wasn't selling drinking water. I was selling an accessory to a luxury lifestyle. I was selling an idea. With my stage set and my props ready, I launched. One placed a dozen bottles of Gemstone Hydration on the pedestal in the jewelry store, each one lit to perfection. There was no big announcement, no flashy marketing campaign. Just the bottles, sitting there in silent, sparkling prestige. And then I watched. The store's clientele were exactly who I was targeting. Wealthy individuals, people accustomed to paying for exclusivity. A woman would come in to have her multi-carat diamond ring polished. While she waited, her eyes would wander. She'd see my display. She'd walk over, intrigued by the beautiful bottle. She'd pick it up, feel its weight, and read the label. Gemstone Hydration. The only water pure enough to clean your diamonds. You could see the moment the connection was made in their minds. The logic was immediate and powerful. My diamond is one of the hardest, purest, most valuable things on earth. If this water is formulated specifically for something so precious, then the water itself must be incredibly special, incredibly pure, incredibly elite. They weren't thinking about drinking it. They were thinking about the status it represented. They were thinking, if it's good enough for my diamond, it must be exceptional. The $50 price tag didn't deter them. It confirmed their bias. In a store where they were about to spend thousands or tens of thousands on a piece of jewelry, $50 for a bottle of elite water was an afterthought, an impulse buy. They bought it without blinking. Some bought it out of curiosity. Some bought it as a novelty gift. But many bought it because, in that moment, it reinforced their own sense of status. Owning this water was a small, tangible way to feel part of an exclusive club. They weren't just buying water. They were buying a story about themselves. The story that they are the kind of person who uses special $50 water for their diamonds. The experiment was a staggering success. We sold out within days. The jewelry store owner was stunned. He'd seen me bring in cases of what looked like simple water and thought I was insane. Now he was asking if I could get him more. This entire experience taught me the most valuable lesson in business and psychology. Value is a perception, not an intrinsic fact. The water in the bottle was worth pennies, but the context, the story, and the feeling it gave the customer, that was worth $50. The jewelry store, the fancy bottle, the clever branding, it all worked together to create a new reality for that water. It transformed it from a simple commodity into a luxury good. So the next time you buy something, especially something with a premium price tag, take a second to ask yourself, what am I really paying for? Am I paying for the product itself, or am I paying for the story that comes with it? Am I buying the steak or the sizzle? Because more often than not, it's the sizzle, the context, that creates the value. It's not about what you're selling. It's about where and how you're selling it. That's the secret to selling $50 tap water. Thanks for watching. If this story made you think, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of our world. See you in the next one.